Well, here we go again. This is the second time I've tried to do this. Anyway, so today's is me just trying to work out how I can better put water and cheaper and quicker and easier upgrade the van. At the moment we've got 120 litres of water on board, not enough. That's two tanks, 165, 155, pretty sure. And I've sussed out I can put a 110 in. It'll fit. Just got to muck around a bit with the plumbing and that, which I don't really want to do. Or I could just run it separately as storage and pump it in with the what's the name pump I've got? What do they call it? Kick-ass pump. Just hook up to that and pump it into the tanks that are in situ. But that's I'm best probably just trying to do it right in the first place. So to get it around my head and everything, I drew all this. Right. So hang on, we get out of here. So you see up the front there, it's the two tanks. I want to stick the one tank in the middle, and then I've got the grey water at the back. I've got a 1400 gap, so usable space is probably about 1200 to 1300 long under there with the shit that's in the way. And then I've got, I think it was a 580 plus 600 something centres. So I have to put flat steel like across there and then screw the brackets up into it. So the new tank's going to be, if I get it, it'll be 1100 long by 470 wide by 230 deep. Or I take out one of the 55 litre front tank and put in maybe an 82 litre tank. It'll cost me 127, not delivered, and use everything that's the same and just put it all back together, and there you go, done. But that only gives me 65 litre and 82 litres, 147 litres all up. If I go the other way, I get 230 litres if I go new tank and leave the two old tanks in situ. Let's go underneath and have a look. Let's show you around. This is on a New Age 2015 van. Right. So, where are we? I'm gonna do you now. Right. So I want to stick it in here. I've got to put a plate somehow with that pipe there to come across to here. I've got two brackets, I could get away with it. See, I'll put one bracket there, I can clear that black pipe, that'll be fine, and then there, and then the other bracket there gives me just enough room. But I prefer to go back a bit because up here, you can see this here is the gravity fed pipe that comes in and runs along to the two tanks this way. Alright, so you got the largest tank there, and then the smaller tank, and then a water feed links up and joins and then runs back here up into here. Right, and that's the I run a Tappergy water meter. Right, set it at 100, so I know I've got to get more water quickly. I can't put another pump there. There's enough room for it if I want to run the other new tank, but I don't know. Hammery wants me to run a dedicated drinking water tank, so I could run the small one. It's just a lot of work. Anyway, now you'll see the grey water tank at the back there. Just there. That's new. Cost $2,000 to get put in. And then our Simplicity suspension, as you see, it's not a normal New Age. We've got rid of the twin axles and gone Simplicity suspension, and we'll just bolts up in there. Right, but that's not about, this is about water. So this is where the mains comes in here. That can be moved along, you know, anywhere I want if it's in the way. Yeah, basically that's my options. I think I run 50mm flat across, because the kit I'm looking at, it's going to cost $400, and it has the brackets, it has the tank, it has the guard for underneath, it has some fittings, and looks like you can you got a gravity fed from the bottom, and it gives you a gravity fed, not pressure fed from the bottom as well. So it's not one that feeds in from the top. So I don't know what would be. Oh, actually no, I think it does have a top gravity feed. Yeah, it does. It has a top gravity feed and a bottom positive pressure feed, and it has your bottom Caravan water feed, and it has a bung on the bottom with a tap, and it has your air breather all facing out to this side. Yeah. Anyway, this is a short one. This is my big dilemma. Also, those cables over there, the tank may come up against it. That's all the very large cable coming from the front, the Anderson plug, the solar Anderson plug, and then the solar feed going into the DC to DC, and then my fridge cable, dedicated fridge cable, largest twin core double sheath you can get, goes straight over to the fridge, because it was losing a volt, because it was running off the old wiring system. So and it works fine now. It doesn't suck the life out of the battery too much, but it does. Uses 10% a night for a day. Well, at night it uses 10% of the battery power. Anyway, this is all about water, not about all that other stuff. So that's my space. So it's 470 wide. So I'll get away from that and come over to here. That'll bring the weight forward off the axle a little bit, but not much. And then it's 1100 long by 230 deep. And then I'll work out, you know, cutting this, getting a T for it, and hose to feed into it. I'll get a T-piece, hose, elbow, and then pipe, because it's going to be like sitting like there, sort of thing. You know, not great. Yeah, a lot of money. But you need water. Most important thing we need is water. Got the solar stuff. Yeah. Anyway, oh, by the way, this here, if you can see it, that I unwind that hook onto there, and then on the back I've got a hose reel that I just pull out and hook up to a caravan park, or even if I'm doing a water hookup to get water out of the van, I've got 20-metre hose reel. I run that out, and then this one here, I just hook another little short hose onto it and run up into the filler for the water, and it's just a lot easier and simpler, and God, it saves a lot of time. You know, you got to get your bag out with the hose in it, and you got to get the fittings, and I just got to get the fittings are in the front box with the filler and that. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this up of part one of the water tank improvements of the van. Options is new tank, 110 litres, or I replace this front tank here with an 82 litre, and that'll give us 147 for the both. It's exactly the same dimensions, wide and high, it's just longer. and it'll probably come out to there, and that stuff would all fit. It'd be 147 litres of water, so probably wouldn't get, so 140 you wouldn't use the 7 because it won't pump out. Where if I go the other way, put 3 tanks in, it gives me 230. And 230 sounds a bit better. I don't have to, I've got to decide whether I want to set it up so I can fill all 3. It should drain. My next problem is getting the water drain right for, the water drain. If I put it there, draining it back into here. So I've got to go to the lowest point down here, right, where it all meets up and marries down in there. Put a T-piece in, and then that way all the water's drawn from the lowest point. Because technically you would think those wheels would be higher, and if it's having issues I'll just lower the jockey wheel at the front, but if it's level this should be higher. This is what you've got to think about. Once you put something in, you've got to make sure it back feeds and goes into your pump. So it's all good. I know water finds its own level, but yeah, sometimes you get airlocks. Okay, so where I'm at with this one, see how far we get, whether we do it or not. It might be a part 2, or we might just not have time to do it because we're going 2 months. All right, bye.